photograph in which we were in love, caught in your eyes, waiting for the sunrise. I barely even knew.
Hi! I am so glad being back. Okay, so for today's lesson, I've got a couple of friends that I am going to use to help you understand the topic better. So, if you are ready, let's start. Grade 4s, I want you to meet Zeus. He's a betta fish. They don't like being in a tank with other fish. So there's a, you call it a bubble nest. It shows that he's happy in his tank. It's because of his temperature that's quite high. And down here you can see an empty spot where another tank used to stand, but my cat decided to break it. Next up, I would like you to meet Flair. He's not really happy with me now. As you can see, he's just saying, leave me alone. I just want to eat in peace and quiet. His tank is about the temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, as you can see there. My red betta fish, he's called Feisty. He used to be in the tank that's now broken by Jasper, my cat. He's drifting in a small little jar in the tank. Because of this lockdown, I cannot get a new tank for him. If you look on the thermometer, it is about 27 degrees Celsius. I would like you to meet Zeus. As you can realize by now, the skills focus that we are doing today is about reading and taking temperature. It's so very important. If you are into fish, like me, if you know me, you know that I love all types of animals. And it is so important that if you keep fish as pets, that you keep their water temperature at the correct temperature. Feisty, he is now drifting in my community tank. I've got other fish in here as well. You can see some neon tetras, and then I've got some golden barbs in there as well. You can see my tank temperature. It's about 27 degrees Celsius as well. I want you to take a close look at the thermometer and see if you can see that it's 27 degrees Celsius. There, let me try to zoom in a bit. There we go. I want you to meet my angel fish. That's Pepper. Here's my female betta fish. Her name's Destiny. There's my other one, the purple one. She's got a bit of red in. Her name's Trinity. And then there's my white angel called Salt. Hello Salt, hope you are doing very well. Let me show you, I've got some betta fry, meaning babies in here. I cannot see them now. Let's see if we can see them from the top. There's one of them. Let me put a sticker so that you can see. There we go, a cute little baby betta. Hello Jasper, why did you break my tank? Where am I going to get a new one in the lockdown time? Measure temperature. You can get this on page 64 to 65. We use a thermometer to measure temperature. Temperature is how hot or cold something is. We measure temperature in units called degrees Celsius. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. There is a tube of liquid inside the thermometer. When the liquid gets hotter, it moves up the tube. When the liquid gets colder, it moves down the tube. There are numbers on the thermometer to mark different temperatures. The number that the liquid stops at is the number of the temperature. How to measure temperature. Hold the top of the thermometer. Put the bulb of the thermometer into the material to measure its temperature. Leave the thermometer for a few minutes. Observe the thermometer to see where the lines of the liquid is. Make sure to keep your eyes level with the line on the thermometer. Read the temperature from the degree marks on the thermometer. Here's a picture to show that the eye position is level with the surface of the mercury. The unit of measurement we use here is in degrees Celsius. Here are some keywords for you. Temperature, a measure of how hot or cold something is, and then predict, to say what you think will happen before it happens. Activity 5, practice reading temperature. You are welcome to do this at home. It is on page 65. Just follow along with the next video clip and enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Jared. Welcome to our channel of fun science demonstrations. What am I holding in my hands? Well, you should recognize this as a thermometer. What's the purpose of a thermometer? Well, it measures temperature. Temperature is how much heat energy an object has. And that object could be anything. It could be the air, it could be this water, it could be this ice, it could be me. All of those things have heat energy, and I can measure it with a thermometer. And wouldn't you know, we're going to be making our own thermometer today. So when I pull this thermometer out, this is just a little plastic thing that has marks so I can tell how much heat energy something has. It's basically made up of a tiny container that has red liquid in it. Well, guess what? We're going to make our own little tiny container with red liquid in it and see if we can measure heat energy. So what do I need to make my thermometer? Well, I need a bottle with a lid, some red food coloring if you like, a push pin to start a hole, a pencil to make that hole bigger, and then a straw, some kind of straw, to go through the hole in the bottle. Let's see this thing work. So I'm actually going to keep the lid on my bottle. I'm going to take my push pin and go right through the center of the lid. Wiggle it around a little bit, and I have a tiny, tiny hole. Now, keeping the cap on the bottle so I don't get myself with the tip of the pencil. I'm going to use my pencil. I'm going to twist and push at the same time. It's a real simple way to make a small hole into a big hole. Now, take the lid off, and I'm going to take my straw, and I'm going to pull it through the hole and make sure my straw doesn't touch the bottom, and make sure that my straw doesn't touch the bottom of my bottle. Now, I just have to fill my thermometer up so we can start measuring heat energy. So now let's fill the thermometer. I'm going to take the cap off, and I'm just going to fill this most of the way with water. I can fill it to the top. I don't have to. I can leave a little bit of airspace. Now, so that you can see it better and so that it looks more like a thermometer, I'm going to add some red food coloring. A couple drops, a lot of drops. You can make it any shade of color you'd like. Now, I need to put the cap back on, and I have a problem. I have to increase the water level in my straw. I could do this a couple different ways. I could have a food dropper or an eyedropper and add water to the straw, or I could use a different technique, and I like this technique. All I'm going to do is blow into the straw just really gently. You'll see air bubbles come up, and it'll raise the water level in the straw. Check this out. And what do you know? So I made up my own little thermometer out of a glass jar. That way, squeezing it doesn't really affect it. So let's see what happens when I put my thermometer in hot water. Watch the water level. Oh! Wow, it's rising just like a real thermometer. My thermometer is measuring the heat energy of this water. It must be pretty warm. How do I know that? It's going up. As things get hot, they actually expand. Water expands when it gets hot. How do I know that? Well, it's expanding. I wonder what happens if I measure something that doesn't have as much heat energy, like this tub of ice. What do you think's going to happen? Let's find out. Trying to just fit it so it sits down. And let's watch to see if we can measure the heat energy in this ice. Just piling some ice up around it. Now you can see that my thermometer is moving much slower on its way down than it did up. Most thermometers work the same way. I have a little container of red liquid, and when that liquid measures heat energy, if it has a lot of heat energy, that red liquid's going to move up. If it doesn't have as much heat energy, that red liquid's going to move down. A working thermometer. If you want to learn more about heat energy, check out our links in the video description. Science is so cool, or hot. Thanks for watching.
If you made one, please take a photo. I would really like to see it. Okay, grade 4s, in your books, I would like you to write the date and then measure temperature, skills, focus as you're heading, and then underline your heading. Then I would like you to copy the next diagram that I'm going to put on the video clip now. You can pause this image and then you can copy it. When you are done with that, I want you to pick 5 random things in your home. It can be coffee, it can be ice water, it's really up to you. If you want to measure your bath water, you can. 5 things, and then write that down in your book for me. After you've written down your 5 things, you are going to predict the temperature. So, for example, you are going to say, I predict that my fish tank's temperature is going to be 27 degrees Celsius. Okay, so I know that's the temperature, but you are going to guess. Remember what predict stands for? It stands for to say what you think will happen before it happens. And then your last step, you can then measure the actual temperature. Okay, so just to recap, in your book you will have your diagram that you are going to copy from this video clip. Remember, you always draw in pencil, and your headings you can do in pen. Then you are going to have 5 random things written down. For example, coffee or your bathtub. Be creative, it can be anything. Next to that, you're going to have your prediction, the temperature that you think it's going to be. You're going to measure the actual temperatures, write it next to it. I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and then again, stay inside and stay safe until I see you again. Bye bye.